I'm Jen West, professional rebel of delight.
And I'm Dave Wiesdock, sage of creative scaffolding.
And this is shadow casting. Good day, shadow casters. It's time for another quote. You ready, Dave?
Yes, I love quotes.
Yeah. I got to sing it. Quote day. We're so dumb.
But I love it. Quotes are so fun.
They are great. And today our quote is from Amelia Earhart, our famous flying woman. She's so cool. She's one of my favorites.
She's one of my favorites too. I've always been inspired by her and her adventurous spirit.
Yeah. We have not to totally sidetrack this podcast, but we have a museum in Denver, Colorado, and it's got all these big trains and stuff. And one of the exhibits is one of Amelia Earhart's cars.
What? That's so cool.
It's super cool. And she's like standing there all in her power and self-worth and all that good stuff. She's just cool.
Was she somehow related to Colorado, Denver area? Do you know? Or is it they just happen to have her car?
I think they just have one of her cars. I don't think she's a Colorado native, but maybe one of our listeners knows more about Amelia than we do.
Oh, that's cool. All right. So what's the quote today, Jen?
All right, here's our quote. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. The fear of paper tigers. You can do anything you decide to do. You can act, change, and control your life. And the procedure, the process, is its own reward.
This is just such a freaking cool quote. I mean, I'm going to be honest. The thing that jumps out at me the most is that second sentence. The fears are paper tigers. I just think that sounds so cool. It just really captures for me how much we blow up things that we are afraid of and how they don't always have the teeth we think they do. And if we just shift our mindset a bit, we realize that the tiger is actually just made of paper and we can just slow it down. You know what it reminds me of? Like those origami things, like where you like fold it into like a tiger shape. I don't know why. Like that's what comes to mind when I think of like the fears are paper tigers. They're like these little ways that we contort ourselves and fold ourselves into these patterns of behavior and thinking. And that's the way it's got to be. And that's why we're afraid. And if we were to just unfold the paper, we would get a much bigger picture of what's happening. And because we were unfolded, it would take away that paper tiger image and it would just be this whole piece of paper. And
nothing worthy of being scared of. Yeah, it reminds me of Disneyland and the Haunted Mansion. And there are these fog machines, and then there's projections on those fog machines. And it's scary. There's like a monster there in front of you, and the little car drives right through them. It's just an illusion. And that's what I think of when I think of that paper tigers. Like you could punch right through it. It doesn't really exist.
I love that ride.
It's my favorite. I love the Haunted Mansion. Such
a cool ride. And then I guess that kind of brings us into the next part of the quote, which is that you can do anything you decide to do. The decision is in the act itself. And I think that gets not overlooked, but it definitely gets missed. It's just like you said, the ride goes through you've got to go through the fear and realize that to get to the other side and realize that it's just an illusion. It's not real. And the real thing is that a lot of times I've noticed for me is that I will commit to a decision, I will act, I will move through, and then I'll still be like focused on what I just went through or what's coming up next. And it's like, if we only move from fear to fear, we're not really moving with that tenacity because we're allowing the fear to decide and move for us rather than us moving from our own decision, our own actions.
And I think this happens with us a lot in our life where we choose a direction, but we don't really decide to act. Like we start going through the motions, but it's a false decision. It's not really, there's still conflict inside of us. And I think that's what Amelia is getting at. Let's say like a new diet or something, or doing something extreme like a 3-day fast. And we kind of step into it like, yeah, I want to do it. but there's no prep, there's no making it the decision that we're going to follow through to the end. And so we can bail at different times and excuses can pop in. And when a real decision is made, the excuses kind of are that paper tiger that filter away. They fall off the side when a decision is really made to act.
Well, and then there's a whole other side of this quote that's jumping out at me, which is that when we decide to act, especially in our culture nowadays, there's like that instant gratification. If you want to watch something, you just go to your subscription service, turn it on and watch it, for example. And the second half of this quote, I think, is what I'm really getting at here, which is the procedure and the process is its own reward. You can decide, like you were saying, that you want to do the diet, lose the weight, but the process of going through that is the reward itself. It's the skills that you build in that process that you take with you. The weight loss is the byproduct, right? The healthy body is the byproduct. Yes, it's the goal, but what gets you to the goal is the steps and the skills that you cultivate within yourself to get there. And that process is where the real gold is. I think we miss that sometimes, myself included. I get so focused on where I want to be, and I'm like, how do I get there? But then when I look retroactively and how I got to where I am now, I can recognize the procedures and processes that I had to get through. And those are my reward because those skills that I used to get to this point are what I'm relying on to get me to go forward, not the fear, not the illusion of what's in front of me, but the skills within myself that I bring with me, the things that I act on.
Yeah, isn't it a thing that multimillionaires say a lot? It's not having the $1 million, it's having the skills to be able to make the $1 million. You know,
Yeah.
they're always asking that question. Do you want $1 million now? Or do you want to learn how to make $1 million? And some people say, I want the $1 million now, but then they lose it. And the person who has the skill can lose it and get it back again. And so it's those procedures, the processes, the skill development that happens, hugely important.
I've heard that too. I don't know if it's like I don't know what it is, a story, an analogy, a metaphor, but they talk about that. If you were to take 10 people and put them on an island and one was a billionaire, but you took away all their money, all their resources, it was just 10 equal people trying to figure out how to live on a remote island, but one person was previously a millionaire or a billionaire, that person, if you were to come back later, would still be the millionaire or billionaire, according to the story, because that person, it's not that, well, and I guess it's always context with things, right? Because not every millionaire and billionaire is like that. But the idea is that the person that became the self-made millionaire became that because of the skills and the processes that they put in place. And so if they were on a remote island, it's not the money that they would need, it would be those skills to be able to interact and build relationships with people and understand how economics work and resources and labor and those kind of things. Those are what made him, this hypothetical person, a millionaire. And so, yeah, I think that's exactly how that works.
It's the drive and the belief that you can make a decision and follow through and have something come out of it on the other side. Yeah. And that gets us right back to the decision to act. Go out and do things, find out what happens, learn from it. And it goes back to your thing, Dave. Win or learn, never lose.
Yes, one of my howls, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And here's the last thought that I have. Our podcast is a great example of this too. We talked about doing this before we actually did it several times. And maybe you and I had our own paper tigers that we were facing, but really what changed it for us is you and I just sat one day and we decided, all right, we're doing this.
We picked a date and said,
Yeah.
we will have this many podcasts ready on this date. And that's when it became real and the decision was made. And yeah, we've been cooking along since then. But it really was. We had all kinds of ideas and names and ideas. I think we spent a year thinking about building a podcast.
We kind of did, but at the same time, too, that process of figuring it out together is what got us to where it is today. And we're still developing as we go. And I think that that's where, in my opinion, Amelia is getting at with the tenacity part. You've got to keep making decisions. It's not like you make a decision today and you're done for the rest of your life. It's a constant act. It's a constant decision. It's a constant becoming, like we talk about on our podcast.
Exactly. It's an amazing quote. And she was an amazing human being who did incredible things. She's a hero, definitely. One of my heroes.
Yeah, I love her. Yeah, you know what? I think she would be a hero of mine too, you know? She inspired my imagination with aerospace because I was always fascinated with like space, planes, those kind of things, and just someone that was in a different day and age where women weren't allowed to do a lot of things. And she had the courage to step up and have a voice in the conversation. And to me, that just adds the weight of what she shares in this quote.
Yeah, she does it. And it doesn't matter if people say she's a woman or women shouldn't fly planes or wear pants or own their own cars or, yeah, she's like, screw you. I'm doing it. Watch me. And I
Yeah,
love that. Hold my beer.
hold my. That's exactly what she said. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. So, audience, what do you think of this quote? Let us know what you think of Amelia Earhart and this quote on the decision to act. Give us your feedback.
And as always, be sure to drop us a like wherever you're listening. Share us out with your friends and family if you think that they would have fun journeying on these quote casts and podcasts with us. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so that you get notified when we drop new podcasts wherever you're listening from. And until next time,
See ya.